Hey, what's up guys, Totallydubbed here, and today I'm doing a video review on the Philips, now brace yourself, 328P6VJEB. Now this is a 4K monitor that has a 32-inch display. Now in terms of its price, to get you started, it comes at £630 to £590, depending on £580 depending on where you source it from. Links will be down in the description below in case you're interested to buy them. Now I'll run you through the key specs. Now, as I said, it runs on 4K on a 32-inch panel. It is 3840 times 2160 in terms of its total resolution to 4K. It has a VA panel that runs at also 60 Hz over DisplayPort or HDMI 2.0. It has a 4 milliseconds G2G response time, at least quoted, and it has two 3-watt speakers. Now, normally I don't really mention about the speakers because they're not that important, but in my opinion, in this monitor, it's probably one of the best sounding monitors I've ever come across, which is high praise coming from me, who's pretty much an audiophile. It's not something I would ever use, but I must say I was very impressed with its speaker quality, so top marks there to Philips. I should also mention that it has a 16:9 aspect ratio. It has VGA, DVI-D, and as I said, DisplayPort and HDMI 2.0, which is also MHL compatible in terms of inputs. You've got a USB 3.0 hub, which can be found on the right-hand side of the monitor, one of which has quick charging, and you've got a audio in and a headphone out jacks, 3.5mm jacks on the side as well. So pretty much comprehensive in terms of inputs go. Now let's talk about its build quality. Now the monitor's build quality is fantastic. I have no complaints about the stand. It's very sturdy. It's made out of solid plastic, obviously, and it's got a nice look. It's not distracting you from the actual massive monitor itself, so it looks fantastic. And the actual stand, yet again from Philips, is brilliant. You can go up and down. You can do a full 180. And you can tilt it as you so wish. So very much impressed with the stand and impressed with the build quality overall, and pretty low bezel design as well. However, one thing I did not like is the touchscreen OSD controls, which I have a slight problem with them, simply because in case your finger brushes on them, I don't see people really using the OSD all that much after you've calibrated the monitor or whatnot, but nevertheless it's something I should mention because I really dislike touchscreen controls, and every single person I've spoken to who knows about monitors also dislikes them. However, on the plus side, the OSD is really full of good stuff, let's put it that way. You can adjust everything you so wish. I've got smart response as fast, which I'll get into in a little bit. You've got gamma controls. You can go from 1.8 to 2.6. Pixel orbiting as well, which is good in order to increase the lifespan of your panel. You've got PIP audio controls, as I said, very impressed with the audio. Color temperature, I've got 6500. I can go on user defined as well with 97, 99 and 100. However, I did feel that it was calibrated out the box with the color temperature set as 6500, so impressed with the color calibration out the box. And you can obviously change it 5000 all the way to 11500, which is quite a nice scale to go from. And finally, you've got OSD settings, language, and the setup. And I would suggest if you get this monitor, go and set up and put DisplayPort at 1.2 and HDMI as 2.0 in order to get the 60 Hz out the panel. Now, talk about the panel. So, now the panel is a little bit hit and miss in my opinion. First of all, it's color accuracy. Now, if I were to put a color calibrator on this monitor, I'm sure it'd come out with absolutely amazing results because the panel itself looks really nice. And when I say it looks really nice, I mean the color reproduction is very accurate. I had no problems with the color accuracy, no problems with the color gamut either. Given it's a VA panel, and also I should have mentioned that it's a 10-bit panel as well, so if you've got a compatible graphics card, it'll be a match made in heaven for that graphics card. And obviously if you're an editor or a video editor or photo editor, then you'd be looking for that. I feel that its color reproduction has no problems whatsoever, and given its VA panel, it has great contrast ratios, at least on paper. However, my actual experience with the panel is a little bit mixed, and that really comes from its washed out look. Now, despite having really accurate colors from at least my perception and the images that I've put through it, and I don't have a color calibrator of sorts, and obviously if you have this type of monitor you'd probably have one just because you want to make sure that the colors that you're outputting are the colors that will be seen on print or whatever it might be. But nevertheless, through my own experience after reviewing many monitors, I would just say this panel has a washed out look. It just doesn't look too good to me on my eyes. As I said, the color reproduction is fantastic, but it just looks a little bit washed out. And it's something I've come across with certain panels. I just didn't really expect it to come from a VA panel, which slightly surprised me. There's a certain image that I have which has a Earth at the bottom. And it's got like a space station in the middle. With that image, I really did feel that on the top right hand side and top sides of the image, that it really did, lacked in terms of displaying a solid black color. So I'm not sure why that's the case given the fact it's a VA panel, but nevertheless that is the case with this panel. I should also mention that when I was moving left and right, despite viewing angles being good, I did notice like a quick shift, not in colors, but in terms of its sort of the what's it called, the washed out look that I was talking about. The more you move left and right from the monitor, the more you'll see this washed out look. If you're looking at it with an extreme angle, say let's say this type of angle like that, you're going to see a washed out look. You might even notice it on the camera. You can see how the crocodile is going a lot more washed out as soon as we go here, and then a lot more accurate when we're here. So obviously you'll be sitting pretty much square on if you're looking at this monitor, but nevertheless it is very important for me to note that. And I did notice it given the fact it's a 32-inch monitor. I'm looking straight here, and as soon as I start looking right to my icons over here, I do notice them being washed out versus me physically moving my head from here to here. So it is something very important to note, and it will be something of concern for people who do photo and video editing. So that's why I mention it. Now, in terms of its gaming performance, I was told not to really talk about it, but nevertheless I should, because it is something that, you know, if someone wants to casually game, it is very much a monitor that I would use for casually gaming, nothing more. Its response time, 4 milliseconds G to G, I think is a little bit generous. I think even on the fastest mode, it didn't really perform like a true 4 millisecond response time monitor. Nevertheless, it is better to be used if you're being gaming on the fastest mode with smart response on fastest. And if you're not going to be doing that, then I would make sure you disable that. If you're not going to be gaming, that is, make sure you disable that and put it on off, because you do notice a little bit of overshoot ghosting. In terms of its input lag, I did notice a little bit of input lag, very minor, but it is there. If you're a competitive gamer, then definitely not for you, not a monitor you'd ever consider anyway, given it's 60 Hz or 4K. But it's something I should mention anyway. If you're a casual gamer, or if you're looking not to be really gaming at like with loads of fluid motions, then this monitor will be fine for in those types of games. So there we go, guys. In my opinion, this monitor doesn't quite hit the mark, mainly because of its washed out look. I don't quite understand why that's the case, no matter the color calibration that I did, as in with my own through the OSD and through my NVIDIA panel. No matter what I did, just didn't really hit the mark, despite having nice colors and whatnot. Its price is very high, and for that reason I must critique it for that price, and I just don't feel it's worthy of being a recommended product at such a high price tag. There we go, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed this review. Again, an unpaid, unbiased, independent review. Make sure you give it a like, comment, subscribe, favorite and share, and let me know in the comments below what you think of the monitor. If you've bought it yourself, share your profiles, color profiles, whatever it might be, feel free to do it. Alright guys, I've been Totally Dubbed. Take care and bye bye.